Hello everyone, welcome back to D7C. Today we're looking at Minecraft Let's Play Building an Empire in Survival Mode, Episode 2, getting our first stuff. Sorry it's been a while, I've just been busy with other stuff. So let's watch a video.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Roscoe Plays Games and Does Not Yell at You, because like I said before, let's face it, there are enough YouTubers yelling at everybody, and it gets really old and annoying, and I refuse to do that to you. We are just going to play Minecraft and have some fun. Welcome to episode 2 of building our Minecraft Survival World Empire. If you're new to this series, this is not a bad place to start, but I would recommend going to the first episode so you can see how I got to where I'm standing today. Just to recap the previous episode, we got ourselves started from the spawn point, we found a temporary new home, we found not one, but 2 towns and plundered all of their chests and even got some diamonds, which was super cool. We got a door slammed in our face by a jerky villager named Gerald. And we found a nice location for our future home base. In this episode, we will be working on getting the initial resources that we're going to need to build our empire. We're going to be doing our first caving, hopefully finding enough iron to make ourselves a full set of armor and some useful tools. And while we do the caving, I am going to show you how I go about going into caves, not getting killed, and not getting lost. So let's begin. So before I go into any cave, the first thing I need to do is rid my inventory of all the stuff that I simply do not need within that cave. The first thing I see is I got a lot of wheat seeds that I got from clearing that field in the last episode. I do not need that many spots of my inventory being occupied by something like wheat seeds, but I am going to use those later to actually grow some wheat when we build our farm. So I'm going to keep as many of those as I can, but I'm also carrying things like rotten flesh that I have zero use for. And I have a lot of these flowers that I got while I was clearing the field as well. I don't need those. I'm going to just ditch those into nothing so that they'll disappear. But I am going to keep the wheat seeds in a chest and keep things like the log in a chest as well. Now before I do go into the cave, I'm going to show you what I'm carrying that I actually do need. I was fortunate enough to find a number of iron pickaxes in one of the chests in the other town, and that was awesome. I also have a ridiculous number of torches to get started with because light is going to be your best friend in a cave so that you don't have a bunch of angry mobs trying to kill you all the time. Alright, so I figured a great place to get started would be this cave that's right in the middle of the town that I'm using as my temporary home base. That way if I do get myself in a jam and have to escape quickly, I don't have to run across a bunch of terrain or mountains or water or anything to get back to safety.
Just don't bring any zombies.
I'm going to take this extra careful because I have barely any armor and barely any defenses. But the real first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put these torches in my non-dominant hand, which for me is my right hand, and that way I can just right click and lay torches down as I go, and that way I can light up the cave and not have to worry about mobs too much. So as I go into this cave for the first time, like I said before, I have very low defenses, so any mob could really do some damage to me, so I need to be very, very careful. The first thing I did is I made sure that my exit is always 1 steps. That way if I have to get out quickly, I don't have to worry about building up or anything like that. I'm going to make sure that my exit is as quick and easy as possible. I have my sword in hand, my torch in my non-dominant hand, and I'm going to go through this cave very slowly at first and lighting it up as I go, making sure that I don't have any little pitfalls like this right here, because I cannot handle those kinds of things right now. And we're going to try to clear this place out as quickly and safely as possible.
A few moments later.
And we've already found a skeleton. Those are really the guys I do not want to tangle with right now, so I'm going to back out.
You know what I mean? It's really annoying. Yeah, these iron golems is shield.
I'm going to let the iron golem get him. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. By the way, a lot of people like to destroy a town's iron golem. I think that's just cruel and wrong. I can get my own iron without having to take away that town's defenses, you know?
There's the iron right there.
Cool. I already found some iron, but before I go and start mining that, I'm going to make sure that this cave is decently clear so that I don't have to worry about getting shot at or attacked by any hostile mobs while I'm sitting there taking my time and getting that iron. And since I was able to kind of clear this part of the cave, I feel comfortable going ahead and getting this iron ore. So this cave has quite a chasm that we're going to have to explore, and there's a lot going on down there. That skeleton just narrowly missed me, so we're going to have to be extra careful as we explore this place. Anytime you can find veins of coal at this stage of the game, get them and get them all, because not only are you making enough torches for later on when you're doing more caves, you're also getting plenty of XP, which will help you to enchant things later. Also, as I'm going through caves, I'm making sure that I'm not going to get lost. And the way that I do that is at this point, is through strategic placing of torches. I never put a torch on a wall on my left. I always put it on my right. And that way, when I'm going back and trying to find my way back to a safe place, I can always just follow the torches and make sure that they're on my left, and then it will lead me back home. Okay, so yep, we got a new day dawning, and I'm going to go back into the cave here and hope for even more stuff that we can find. But before that, I'm going to get rid again of stuff that I don't need to carry. First thing, diorite, useless. We also have andesite, which is also useless. I do have a lot of gravel, which I'm going to keep on hand because it doesn't take up too much space in my inventory, and it is useful. I also like to have some dirt that doesn't collapse like gravel does. And I definitely like to have cobblestone, which is a lot more stable in the event that I'm going to have to build myself out of a deep chasm or something along those lines. So I was having trouble in that cave because there was one skeleton in one little tight place that I could not get past, especially when I don't have a bow and arrow of my own or any real armor to speak of. So I'm going to try to explore a different cave for the time being.
Should be pretty safe. Nice. After this, I'm sure you'll get your payback eventually.
So I found this cave that has a zombie spawner in it, and I got chased out a few times, but I am definitely going to be doing something about keeping these guys from spawning. And now that we have neutralized this spawner room, I'm going to go ahead and continue exploring this cave. So there's a good amount of coal right there and some iron, but before I start mining that, I'm going to make sure that this room is nice and clear. Cool. Emeralds, another great way to get started. It looks like there's some copper as well. Now, a lot of people don't like to waste their time mining copper because they think it's kind of useless, but I have actually found a good use for it, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So once I am sure that this cave is nice and clear for me to mine in, I'm going to get that copper as well. Found this guy. His name is Jerry. His name was Jerry. Now, when I come to a place like this in a cave where there is a split and I have to make a decision of which way to go, I like to make sure that when I'm coming back through this area, I know which way will take me back to the end of the cave. Later on, I'm going to be using blocks of copper to be doing that, which is what I was talking about earlier when I have a use for copper. But right now I don't have any blocks of copper, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down a line of 3 torches. And that way I know that, hey, this is a junction in the cave, and if I follow this way, it's going to take me back home, because that right there is obviously a wall, but if I follow it in that direction, that's going to take me out of the cave. And then another rule of thumb that I like to do is whenever I find one of these splits in the road, I like to take the right way first. Doesn't have to be the right, it can be the left if you like, but I just like to make it consistent so that I know what I do every time, and if I were to get lost down here, I know that I can just go left and find my way out of the cave safely. Now, in this little branch of the cave, I did find some coal, and when I got rid of that, I went ahead and shored up that hole. But I did find out that this leg of the cave is a dead end. So I don't want to go down here again and get myself confused. But I also want my torch back, so I'm going to get rid of all of my torches in this section of the cave. And I'm going to come back to the opening of that side of the cave, which is back at my juncture here. And just to make sure that I know there's nothing back there, I'm going to cap that part of the cave off. And like I said, that way I know that if I do come back in this cave, I know that that will be a dead end and I don't have to waste my time going all the way down there. So I found out this whole section of the cave, even after that juncture, is just a loop. And now that I've gotten everything out of that loop, or thought I did, I'm going to cap off the loop so that I don't go down there again as well. Alright guys, well that entire cave ended up being a loop and a dead end and all of that, but I did get out of it what I could. There was a lot of iron and a lot of coal, and that's a great start. So just so I don't waste my time in there again, I capped the entire cave off, and now let's go and make some stuff out of what we found. Okay, so we're back at our home base, and we definitely did find a little bit to work with. We found a good amount of copper that I'm going to make some blocks out of. We found a lot of coal that we can make some more torches from. And even a couple of emeralds, which is great. We found a good amount of iron to get started with to either make ourselves some more tools or some useful armor. But first, I definitely need to make a furnace so that I can actually do something with that iron. I'm going to get started by making a sword because I do need to pack a little bit more punch than a stone sword can offer. Alright, looks like nighttime is falling. I got my copper cooking in the oven, and I'm going to go ahead and take a break. Alright guys, so it is a new day, and I'm going to take a quick look at what I got in the cave the previous day. I was able to find enough iron to get myself an iron sword and a little bit of iron armor, which definitely makes me a little bit more defended against bad guys. But before I go into any more caves, I want to have a bow and arrow, and to do that I need to have enough arrows that I don't have to worry about running out all the time. And in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and start raising some chickens, keeping them in a pen, and then harvesting them for their meat and for their feathers. So it's a good opportunity to go ahead and start planning out the farm. Okay, so we're down in the bottom of our field, and I can already tell we've got plenty of room to work with. It's not entirely flat, but we can do some things there. I do have this cave that I think is going to be amazing later on, and I want to build a little bit close to that, so I'm thinking I'm going to put my fortress somewhere maybe right here, and then have the farm nearby. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and start putting our farm, particularly our animal pens, somewhere about right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting enough wood to make some fences and some gates with, and then I'm going to start luring some chickens.
Like a Roscoe doesn't force us to sit through anything that's super.
Alright, that looks like the perfect chicken coop, but it does need one more little thing. I do like to put in a block of dirt in the middle, somewhere that I can jump in and out of the chicken coop with. And I'm also going to put one here so that I can jump in from the outside without having to open the gate and let all the chickens out. I found a chicken named Lyle that I'm going to have, and here is his friend Kevin, and there is his friend Sam. Follow me, guys. Alright, here's 5 more chickens that we're going to put in our pen. And so that we can get even more chickens, I'm going to go ahead and turn these chickens into little baby chickens. And the sun is obviously setting, so I'm going to go back home and sleep the night and get ready for the next day. And that is the end of a productive day, so let's go to sleep. Alright guys, that's a wrap for this episode. I thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode, where we will be continuing the building of our farm and jumping into that big cave down here in the prairie, and maybe even starting to build our permanent home down here in this valley. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next video when we continue to build our empire. And as always, do something nice for somebody today. I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Well, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment for more. Bye.